Hey there, thank you so much for coming. And I think we did a good job with the description of the event because I had a moment of almost panic when I was walking in thinking, what if everyone in here is an old pro like some of these guys in the back, and they're gonna look at my presentation and go, well, you're not telling me anything. So I'm really glad that you all are here today. Hopefully I can teach you a few things, and what I really hope to do is get some of you guys set up. So is anybody ready today to whip out their phones and maybe set up a personal or business account? No? If not, we can cut this and have more pizza. Okay, great. So I want to talk a little bit about why your business needs to be on Instagram. So what Instagram has done is really taken the best of the best for social media platforms and rolled it all into one. So you've got the advertising aspect. So Instagram has been purchased by Facebook, and what they've done is they've integrated the advertising system. So when you go onto Facebook and buy ads, you have the option of posting those ads on Instagram as well. And what we've seen is that these ads perform much, much better on Instagram than they have been performing on Facebook. And if anyone's been running Facebook ads lately, they've seen that it's just been more and more challenging. So Instagram's really opened up the space to be able to post really engaging ads that get a lot of good feedback. The use of hashtags is alive and well. So who on here ever was on Twitter? Okay, so for those of you who are on Twitter, you probably know what hashtags are. And for those of you does anyone not know what a hashtag is? One person? Okay, I've got a slide and I'll go kind of quickly, but we can talk a little bit more if we need to. So the use of hashtags on Instagram is still a really big component about searching, being found, and finding content. So I'll talk a little bit about that as well. Instagram also has lots of video options. So you can post 1-minute long videos as posts. You can also use Instagram stories, which is similar to Snapchat. Does everyone know what Snapchat is? At least peripherally. And you also have the option to do Instagram Live, which is what we're doing today. So I'm going to also talk a little bit more in detail about Instagram Stories and Instagram Live so you can get a quick tutorial about what all of those things are. Does anyone have a guess on how many millions of daily active users Instagram has? 580 million? You are shooting for the stars, but we're almost there, and it's not going to show you. So it's so I don't know why, but the magic number is 300. So 300 million daily active users, and about almost 600 million monthly active users on Instagram. So Instagram is really taking off. It's the hottest social network now. Everyone's getting on it. It's definitely coming along to be kind of the next Facebook. Instagram was created in 2010, and in 2012 it was bought by Facebook. So that really shows how quickly it kind of rose and was identified as Facebook as something that would be really important to social networking. So Instagram is a photo and video sharing platform, so it's really important to have that visual content, and that's what we're going to talk about today. So the lineup. Here's an outline of what we're going to cover today. So we're going to talk about creating an account, navigating the app, creating content, interacting with other people, tags, strategies, and then I'll talk about some tips and tricks, and then hopefully we'll have a little time for open forum at the end where you can ask questions. All right, so I need everybody to participate. This is the participation part of our journey. So get out your phones and your tablets, and I'd like to get started. If you already have an Instagram account, I really want you to look over your neighbor's shoulder and help them along, because I can't look at everyone's phone while they download all of these things. So I'm going to do my best. So the first thing I would like everyone to do is to go to their app store and download Instagram. Okay. Has anyone not done that? I'm going to say I really need everyone's hands because I'm going to keep moving unless there's enough people who need me to slow down. Everyone's got Instagram downloaded. Okay, perfect. Now, does everyone have an account created who's going to create an account? I highly suggest that you create a personal account. This is really going to help you if you one day want to help walk your business through creating a business account. Create a personal one first so you can kind of see how the process goes, and so when you decide to do it for your business, it's not the first time you've done it. So you'll want to sign up and enter your email address and a password. If you're starting a personal account, you can log in through Facebook and it's going to populate all of your information. But if you are here, or in the future, if you want to create a business account, you don't want to log in through Facebook because it's going to pull your personal information when you want to pull a business's information. All right, so does anyone have an Instagram account that they have access to that they identify as their business Instagram account? A couple people? Okay, now, do those few people in the room know how to switch a personal account to a business account for Instagram? No, okay, so I'm gonna walk through that quickly because there's just a couple of you. So what you'll want to do once you're in your account that you want to be a business account, you'll want to go to the settings, which is the little gear up in the corner, and click on that. And then once you click on that, scroll all the way down and you're going to see an option called Switch to Business Profile. And when you switch to that, you're going to see this Instagram for Business. And you continue through your Facebook page, and it also wants you to be the admin of the Facebook page that is the business. So for instance, I might log into Glow Social Media on Instagram, and then I come down here and I continue. It might say my personal name, but when I continue, it's going to show me a drop down of the account pages on Facebook that I manage, so I can choose my business account from that drop down. So don't worry when you pull it up and it says your name, it's going to take you to a drop down. You just have to make sure that you are the administrator of the Facebook page that you want to be the business page for your account. Yeah?
I'm, as far as log in with Facebook. It's asking me to do that.
Yes, you can absolutely do that. Mm-hmm.
I guess I have a Droid, so.
So go to your home page of Instagram.
Yep, pages I use.
Okay. Or you'll see 3 dots. Instagram did just release an update. This is why I need everyone's participation. If anyone is on Instagram and knows how to use it and has an Android, we can help each other. Okay. And so what this is going to do, which is really great, is Instagram for Business changes your account so you can have contact information. People can send you an email or call your business line with a click of a button, a contact button on your Instagram page. It also allows you to see insights, so you can see how many people view each photo or video. You can see what your reach is and your impressions, things that we've been learning about with Facebook marketing. And then you can also see your follower count, your demographic breakdown of your followers, where they're located, what city, what state, their age range, and how active they are and at what times they're active on Instagram. So it's a really great idea to change to this business profile for your business Instagram accounts, because this is definitely information that's going to help you create better content. So what you can do, whether you've just set it up or whether you're changing to a business profile, is you can update this information. And so I definitely suggest filling everything out. So you've got your company name, your URL, and then a brief bio. And then down here is your contact options. So when you click on contact options, that's when you're going to get the opportunity to enter a business phone number, a business email address, and then give people the option of calling you or texting you or sending you an email. All right, navigating the app. So I'm going to go through a couple things really quickly, which are the home page, search, adding, photos and videos, and then your likes or your hearts, your profile, and then finally the insights. So you're going to see tabs at the bottom of your Instagram account, and they've all got little icons. So you'll see a house, and that's your home page. So that's where you'll see your feed, just like any other social network. Second is your search bar. So this is where you can search for users or search for hashtags or topics. This is also where Instagram will give you some options of things that you might like or people you might want to follow. And then you'll also see the hearts, which gives you two options of seeing the people that are following you, what they have liked, and that's pretty interesting, and then also the things that you have liked, so you can kind of keep track of the different things that you've liked. All right, so the insights page. So this is the information that you will only get if you switch your Instagram account to a business profile. So you can see how many impressions you've gotten over the week. You can see your top posts over the last 7 days, the last 30 days, and I think you can do year, maybe even all time. And then you can also see your followers and when they're active. So this is really great information for if you want to do a live Instagram video, so you know when your followers are at their peak of activity on the site. And then demographics, like I mentioned before, you can see the percentage of men to women, age range, and as you scroll down, you'll also see where your followers are located, the cities and the states, and then also another activity stream. And if you click on the more followers, it will always show you how many new followers you've gotten that week. So that's how you can keep track of those stats and demographics. You can also view your insights on the actual post. So you can always click to promote a post. So if you have a post that's doing really well, or maybe you're promoting an event or a sale or a coupon code, you might want to promote that, and you can do it right in Instagram. And then you can also view your insights on the post right from there. So you can see what your engagement, your reach, and your impressions are. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about creating content. Because this is a photo and video platform, it's really important to have a good content strategy, to know what you're doing moving forward, and also decide what your branding is going to be in the space. So you can add photos, you can add individual photos, which I've shown here, or you can add a new burst of photos, which gives you the option of adding up to 10 photos. And this is a brand new feature, which is really interesting for Instagram because it gives you the opportunity to create a little album in one post. So for instance, say you're at the MJ Live concert, which I just was, which was really exciting. It's the impersonator from Vegas. He was in Detroit, and he's phenomenal. But anyway, I've got all these great pictures and videos, but I don't necessarily want to overwhelm my Instagram feed with 40 pictures of my time at the MJ Live show. So what I can do is I can choose my 10 favorite videos and photos. You can do both, and they're going to post in one image. So you'll have one that heads up the post, and then it shows in the corner that there's multiple. And so people can scroll through those right in the Instagram interface and see all the pictures you have. So this is really great, say if you've done a behind the scenes photo shoot and you don't necessarily want to post 10 similar photos all in a row on your Instagram page, but you can create that. It's almost like an album that you would post on Facebook, and you can do the same thing on Instagram now, which is really great. So Instagram Stories. Instagram Stories is Instagram's answer to Snapchat. And essentially what it is it's a feed on your profile where you can upload 10-second bursts of video or photo, and there's options to draw or add emojis, and these disappear after 24 hours, and after people watch them, they go away. And so it's very similar to Snapchat, which is definitely a hugely up-and-coming platform, and Instagram wanted to have an answer to that. And what makes Instagram Stories even better than Snapchat is a lot of people already have their Instagram base. They've already got hundreds, thousands, millions of followers on Instagram, and all of a sudden Snapchat comes along. And it's this new cool feature, but people don't have a big enough follower base on Snapchat. So this gives you the opportunity to have Snapchat-like features, but to a larger follower base that you might already have built on Instagram. And what you can do that Snapchat doesn't allow, which is amazing, well, they allow it, but it doesn't look cool, is you can actually upload already taken and saved to your phone video and photo. So you can create really nice looking professional content that you can then upload to Instagram stories. And you can always, if you have a story that performed really well and you realize, wow, I should have made that a post, you can always go back and upload it as a post to your Instagram feed. Any questions on stories? Okay. All right, Instagram Live. Instagram Live gives you the option to host live video, and it goes away right after you finish going live, and you have the option to download that file after the fact to your phone if you want to save it. And then people can watch you live and comment. This works really, really well for Q&A, live interviews, talks like this, because not everyone has the opportunity to be here in person. So why not miss out on all the people who are stuck at work who might still be really interested in what you have to say? It also gives you the opportunity of setting up your own Q&A right in your office with another employee, or maybe you have a guest in. You can have a one-on-one situation where people can watch live and they can type in their questions and you can see them and answer them right away. It's a really great option for behind the scenes information, or really just anything educational, informational, or cool or unique. The other thing that is really nice is you can follow people right from the Instagram live feed, and I'm going to jump back to Snapchat stories in a minute. I think I've got one other thing on there as well. Any questions about stories or posting or live? Yeah?
For the live, can we go live on both Facebook and Instagram at the same time?
No, so you can't go live on both at the same time unless you have an ambidextrous friend or multiple people, which we've seen. So that brings up a really good point. So what we've seen a lot, I've been watching a lot of Gary Vaynerchuk's content, and what he always does is has a team with him who all have phones, and they're all streaming to all of his different networks. So I sat in a couple weeks ago and watched one of his live Q&A sessions, and this was the most interesting thing I'd ever seen. He was streaming live on Periscope, which is for Twitter, on Instagram Live and Facebook Live, and he was asking users to put their phone number in the comments section, and he would call them right there, and they could ask him whatever he wanted, and he would answer the question, live. And so, everyone's putting in their numbers, and he only got to call about 7 people, but it was the most interesting and cool thing to watch, because he put the phone on speaker and he said, hey man, you're live, what's your question? They would ask business questions, he would give them answers, and then he would go right to the next person who left their number. So that was a really, really interesting tactic to get your expertise out to a bunch of people without necessarily having to put on a big event. He was sitting in his office. So that was really a great use of the live streaming platforms. There are some technical ways to stream on multiple platforms. You have to download software. There are also ways that you can post, so this is jumping over to Facebook a little bit, but there are ways that you can post that you are going to be streaming live, kind of as an announcement, but you also have to have special software to do that live as well. So I'm sure that in the coming weeks, months, that'll all change because people are really liking the live streaming platform option, so stay tuned. So, aside from posting really great content, interacting is the other most important thing that you can do. You have to like other people's photos, comment, respond to comments that are left to you, definitely mention people in posts, tag people in posts, and then also reply to direct messages that come through. Does everyone know direct message similar to Facebook Messenger? Okay, so a direct message or a DM is what it's called to send a private message on Twitter and on Snapchat and on Instagram. And so all that is sending you a private message that no one else can see that says, hey, I'm really interested in such and such product. Can you give me more information? And you can reply right in there, similar to how you have Facebook messages that come in privately that you can respond to. So, a new feature on Instagram stories is you can now tag people on your Instagram story. This is not a feature that Snapchat has, and it's actually really cool. So, say you want to take a Instagram story that you don't really want to post on your Instagram feed, but you want to have it up for 24 hours so people can see it, but somebody's in it that you want to tag. For instance, I was driving to my office last week and I passed what will be the Blue Owl Coffee Company, and I'm so excited for them to open this spring. So I took an Instagram story picture and I tagged them and I wrote, can't wait for @MI_Blue Owl to come to Rio Town. And I posted it. And so they got to see that. But the other really cool thing is that when other people watch it, they can say, oh, that's cool. Who are they? And click on it. So it's a really great opportunity just for more sharing and more collaboration. So besides tagging people, there are two other tags that I want to talk about. So hashtags. Hashtags are a really great opportunity to catalog your content. So I guess first let me say, you cannot own a hashtag. Does everyone know that? You can't make one, you can't own one, it's not yours, it's a public thing. Everybody, this is not new news for anybody? Yeah. Okay, great. So it's great to make up your own hashtags, and it can sometimes backfire. So for instance, Skittles a while back came up with, some campaign hashtag that they were going to use, and they said this is going to be the Skittles hashtag, and I don't remember what it was, but they decided to make the homepage of their website the hashtag live feed. That quickly turned into a problem because people realized that it was the live feed of this hashtag on their website, and people started posting inappropriate pictures, photos, vulgar tweets, and putting the hashtag on the end of the tweet. So it came up on Skittles' homepage. So that is the #1 lesson in which you do not own a hashtag and you cannot decide what goes in the catalog of the hashtag. But on the bright side, you can own a hashtag. So you can use the same hashtag over and over. You can also find out what really popular or trending hashtags are by going to your search feature on Instagram. And you can say, wow, a lot of people are using the hashtag Michigan Maps. Why don't I jump on that? And every single thing I post, I put hashtag Michigan Maps. I'm picking on you because it's coming. Write it all down. And that gives you a really great way to kind of jump into a hashtag feed and take it over. And then geotags. So geotags allow you to tag yourself at a place. The great thing about geotags on Instagram is you don't have to be at the place. It works kind of like MapQuest. So if I'm posting something tomorrow and I say, oh, my presentation was at SBDC, I can say I was at SBDC in the geotag, and even though I'm not there anymore, it will still come up as that's where I was when I posted the photo. And that's really great if you have brick and mortar locations or you go somewhere and present a lot, because then you can put those geotags up and people can say, oh, this is where they are. And if they click on it, it actually does come up as a map. So they can say, oh, that's where the bank is. This is where I need to go. They can pull that right up. So it's really interesting. Yeah.
I'm confused. You said you can't create your own hashtag. So how does a hashtag get created?
So you can... Anything that you put the # in front of is a hashtag. So you can make one up, but most likely it's not completely made up, because if it's a word, the word existed, which means somebody probably used the hashtag before.
Okay.
And another thing to keep in mind about making up brand new hashtags is people probably aren't searching for them a lot. So if I hashtag Glow social media, it's really nice to create an index of all the photos I've shared, but no one's going on Instagram and searching hashtag Glow social media. They might just search, they might just search Glow social media because they're looking for the company, but they're not looking for an indexed catalog of the hashtags.
So if you create a hashtag, how do you put it out there?
You just use it. So if you decide that you want to, okay, here's a good example. So I'm getting married in August, and of course, the big thing is having a hashtag for your weddings, obviously of the utmost importance. So we came up with a couple hashtags, and one of them is courting by Russell. So we put hashtag courting by Russell. And then the other one is hashtag Mackie Dane, which is a take on my username, which is Mackie Lane, and my fiance's last name is Larva Dane. So I came up with it all by myself. Thank you. So anyway, so that's an example of a hashtag that I made up.
How do you get it out there? I mean, I know nothing about Instagram or the hashtag.
So right now I'm getting it out there by just putting it on photos. So when I write a description for a photo on Instagram that is of my fiance and I'll put the hashtags on there. And when it comes time for the wedding, and this, I've seen this at events, other events too, speaking engagements, where they'll put on signage, by the door. We'll have signage at our door that says, use the hashtag such and such, just to catalog the event. But it also gives people a really great way to see what other people are posting, because they can search that hashtag for that event and say, oh, so-and-so is here and they posted this, and I can see it because I have the hashtag to use as an indexer. So another really good use of hashtags is to search hashtags that people are already using and use them as well. So it's not recommended to use really general words because everyone is using those words, which means your posts will get lost in the shuffle. So for instance, hashtag business, there are a million Instagram photos uploaded every second with that hashtag. So it's probably not a great idea to say, oh, we're gonna use hashtag business and that's gonna be our thing. But if you find something a little more specific, so for instance, hashtag Instagram marketing. That's still pretty general, but if you use it a lot, you can show up a little bit in feeds. So that's a good example of going to Instagram, searching for what hashtags are being used. And if you really want to get deep into it, there's a website called hashtracking.org, I believe. And you can put a hashtag into this search feed, and it will actually tell you how many people over a daily, hourly, weekly basis are using that hashtag. So you can say, 10 people, probably too small. 40 million people, probably too many. But if I find a really interesting hashtag that's unique to my business needs that maybe 50,000 people use in the course of 2 weeks, that's something that you might want to think about using.
You said you can look up the hashtags. How do you go to do that?
That's hashtracking.org.
But if you don't know specifically which hashtag you want to see, you said there was like a catalog of what's out there.
Yes, so that would be in the search function. So if you're in Instagram or in Twitter and you go to search, you can always see what hashtags are being used. Another thing that I will often do is go to the accounts of similar people or businesses that have a lot of followers, and I see what hashtags those people are using, because they've probably done all the research, and then I can just kind of cut in and say, ooh, they've been using this a lot, I'll use it too. So that's another really good way to kind of see what hashtags people are using. Keep it coming. No, it's fine.
So if I put my business account on Instagram and I hashtag something that is similar and has a lot of following, does that open that up to all of those people? Is that what that does, or?
So people will search for that hashtag, just like you may have to find out the hashtag, and they will see your content in the feed.
Okay.
So it's really just cataloging. It's really just an indexing tool. Hey, yeah.
Courtney, do you recommend that you have a lot of consistency with hashtags and across platforms? So whether you're using Instagram, are there better Instagram hashtags than Facebook hashtags or whatever other social media, or do you try to keep it the same, or
So
thoughts there?
I don't use hashtags on Facebook. I don't think that people use it as an indexing catalog in the way that they do on Instagram and Twitter. So I don't bother. As far as Twitter and Instagram, I'll use the same hashtags if I know they work, but I will do the research to say this is, because Instagram's not as large, well, I guess maybe it is now, as Twitter, I'll sometimes check and say, okay, on Twitter this hashtag has, 50 million new tweets, but on Instagram it's only got 1 million. So I'll use it on Instagram, but I'll just know that if I use it on Twitter, it might get lost in the shuffle.
Follow-up?
Yeah.
Can you look at those regionally to see if you're marketing for a specific?
So on Hash Tracker, you can. Okay, it's Hash Tracker or Hash Trekking. Will someone fact check me, please?
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, so I want to talk a little bit about some strategies that we can all put into place because everyone wants to break the internet, or they should. Okay, so you definitely want to show off your products and services. So if you have products, it's really important that you take some time and do some research on taking really good product photos. It is very, very easy nowadays. Everyone's camera is more powerful than the cameras that existed 10 years ago. So you can absolutely take really nice quality product photos yourself. It just takes a little bit of ingenuity and a little bit of time. You may have to set up a little backdrop with a white particle board or a white sheet. You might have to find the right lighting in the room. Instead of putting the product over here where it's dark, you might want to get right under the light. So it does take a little bit of extra time, but it will definitely pay off. And what I always do is, the best teacher is the network itself. So I will go on Instagram and I'll say, what are people doing? What's the new thing? Taking the food photos way up here because they look much better than your close-up gross plate? Do that. What are people doing for product photos? How are they staging them? I talk to a lot of people who sell products and they say, I will go outside all the time because the lighting outside, even on a cloudy day, is better than what you're going to get inside the office with fluorescent light bulbs. So pop outside, take some product photos, and then come back in and you've got some great content. The other thing you want to do is take photos of you performing the work. So a lot of people say, well, I don't have a product. I have a service-based business. How do I show interesting visual representation of my business? And you can definitely do that. You just have to be creative. Is there a quick video that you can take between two people answering a question? Maybe someone comes in one day and asks a question that you thought, wow, that was really interesting, and it was simple to answer, and it was information that I can give out to people. You can say, hey, to one of your team members, come in here and ask me this question that I was just asked really quick for video, and I'll just answer it the way I answered it. And that can be a really interesting tidbit of information that you can put on social media that people will want to digest. Behind the scenes works really well too. So if you have really interesting behind the scenes content that you do on a regular basis, you'll definitely want to figure out how you can capture that in photo and video format. The other thing that you will want to do as much as possible is include employees, because people like looking at other people. Photos of people on the internet perform far better than photos of buildings or office things, desks. So definitely get your team and your employees involved, because it's really great to take pictures of people laughing and smiling and having a good time than it is to take a picture of, you know, some thing on the wall. So UGC stands for user generated content. And this is a really great opportunity to get your loyal fans, customers, supporters involved and help you grow your social media strategy and brand. So this is another good use for hashtags. You can create a campaign where you want people to show off their jewelry that they purchased. So what you would say is you could create your own little post and in it say, be sure to tag us and use hashtag just jewelry to show off, you know, your looks with the jewelry that you've purchased. And then that way, they'll share all the photos and then you can repost them, because who doesn't love being reposted by the business that, you know, they were a patron of? They like the business. They would definitely like to be thanked for being a customer. So then you can repost those photos and you don't even have to make the content. You can just use content that other people have created and use the hashtag because you've asked them to do that. And then you can say, you know, we can share some of these photos, and, you know, people are really excited to do that. I've definitely had some businesses that have asked, you know, oh, well, do I need people, you know, to sign a release? That is definitely an option. So you don't have to. Sometimes a verbal release is all that it takes. Sometimes sending them a note on Instagram just saying, hey, can I repost this, is more than enough. And sometimes just tagging them as photo credit is enough. The most I've ever seen is my brother lives in New York, and when the Powerball was like $1 gajillion, he'd taken a picture, a really cool photo, you know, of the billboard in Times Square that said, you know, how much money it was at. And apparently CNN contacted him and they said, hey, can we use your photo for the clips as we run the story on CNN about the Powerball? And he was like, of course, if you give me photo credit. And they said, sure. And so the story ran on CNN, his photo pops up, his username, and the rest, you know, is kind of history. So that's an example of probably the extreme. You know, CNN definitely has to be the most careful, I would say, of anyone. And all they did was send him a private message saying, can we use your photo? And all he said was, yes, give me photo credit. So if CNN is okay with sending a message to get people's permission, then we all should be okay with it too. So deals and contests are another really great way to kind of build your brand on Instagram. You can partner with other people, which has been going on a lot on Instagram. So for instance, we might say, let's both put in $50 and give away a $100 gift card to XYZ company, but they have to follow both of us, they have to follow that company because maybe the company kicked in some extra, and we all post the same photo with the instructions on our Instagram page that says, like this photo, comment with hashtag such and such, and follow these other accounts, and then in a week we'll choose a winner. So that's one way that you can run a contest, especially if you have a small following and you have friends, colleagues, business associates who have a little bit of a larger following. You can say, hey, I'll put up 75% of the cost of the giveaway if you will partner with me on the giveaway, because that means that they can kind of use their influence to help you, and then it all kind of works together. And I talked a little bit about live interviews and Q&A. I've seen some really great ones on Refinery 29. They had a little sit down, so there were two girls. They were talking about a specific topic. They told everyone what they were going to talk about, and they said, hey, we're going to take some questions. Really fun way to get interaction from people from all over into kind of what would just be an interview format, maybe a small audience, but it made it a lot larger. Tips and tricks that you want to make sure you keep in mind to get the most out of your Instagram account. You cannot put, well, you can, links do not work in your Instagram descriptions. So if you post a photo and you want to link to your homepage, no one can click on it. And I don't know anyone, because I'm definitely too lazy to do it. It has not happened to me yet where I was so interested in someone's comment that I had to go to another browser and type in their URL. I'm like, well, they just lost me, because there's no way I'm going to do that. So 99% of people who see your comment are not going to take the time to write your URL that you put in a separate search box to find out where they need to go. So what you can do is you can put a link in your bio, but you can only put one link. So what a lot of accounts will do is if they have something specific that they want to drive traffic to, they'll post on Instagram, and then in the description they'll put link in bio. So if you ever see that and think, what does that mean? It means you can't click on links here, so please go to my bio, and you can click the link to jump over to the site that I want you to go to. And then you can leave that link up for a while and try to generate some traffic to it. And then most people will just leave their main homepage as that link, so they don't have to switch it out too often. But if you ever want people to go to another link, just know you'll need to put it in your bio. So branding. Branding, runs the gamut of marketing. We all know that we need to figure out what our brand is. We need to figure out, what our brand is on social media. And my recommendation for all digital branding, especially social media marketing, is that you choose 3 pillars for your personal brand or your company, and you stick to those pillars. So that way, if you ever are thinking about creating a piece of content, posting a photo, and you say, are these in my 3 things? And it's like way left field. You can say, you know what, maybe this is not the space for it. Maybe it's the post for Instagram stories. Maybe it's not the right post for my Instagram feed.
What do you mean by pillars?
So I just like to choose 3 topics that your brand is about or stands on, if that makes sense. So for instance, my personal brand is about women in business, fitness, and public speaking. So if you go to my Twitter account, you will never see anything posted that doesn't fall in line to those 3 things. So like if I'm watching CNN and I'm like, man, I could go on a Twitter rant right now, I won't, because it's not my brand. So because what social media kind of has done, and really the way it's becoming entrenched in marketing and branding, it's really important to stay consistent, because you don't want to grow, a follower base of 1,000 people on 3 specific pillars, and then one day you turn around and you're talking about something completely from left field. Because that throws people off, and people may unfollow you, they may not like the content. So you definitely want to present a really clear front to people of, this is our brand, this is what you can expect from us, and we will not deviate too much in either direction. Does that make sense?
I think so. I'm going to have to process and think about what my pillars would be.
And I suggest 3 because more than 3 is too many. And one is, we're a little bit multifaceted. So I talked a little bit about running giveaways. That's definitely a great thing that you can do on an ongoing basis. Also, you want to be sure that you're responding to your comments. So if people leave a comment, they took the time to leave the comment, you should take the time to thank them. And then also, there are options for embedding photos on your website. So you can always get from Instagram.com on your browser, you can actually get code for specific Instagram posts, and then you can put those on your website. So the photo will come up, but it'll also link over to Instagram as well. So as people are looking at it, you can kind of have that cross-branding promotion. Okay, so I wanted to take a little time for questions, specific questions about your business, your personal brand, before we wrap up for the day. Yes?
Can you tell me a little bit about what you found the demographic to be? I started Instagram to kind of watch what my kids were doing. I know that a lot of young people are really using Instagram. Are you finding more older users are now using it?
Yes, so Instagram is tracking to Facebook. So I don't know, it was some ridiculous percentage of the percentage of Americans that are on Facebook. And so now that everyone is on Facebook, everyone's starting to migrate to Instagram. And because it's really the ease of use. So my parents are on Instagram and it's like so much easier for them. They're like, oh, you just post and you scroll. You don't really have to do anything, you know? It's really easy and user friendly. So the demographic is just growing, which is why it is imperative that you get on the ball. If you can come up with a solid Instagram strategy and put some time and energy into it over the next, 2, 3, 4 months, you're going to be well on your way.
So the Humane Society has a huge advantage because cat and dog photos.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Right. Are you kidding? Are you kidding me? Right. It's like all day.
We win all the time.
So most businesses that are service-based find it really hard to produce content. And so because it can be difficult to say, what in the world am I supposed to talk about? I'm in banking, right? But Humane Society is still kind of a service industry, but you have the added bonus of not only having humans to take pictures of, but you also have animals to take pictures of. And so, all day long, oh man, yeah, I get excited thinking about it, puppies. Any other questions? Yes?
Just one quick question. The Facebook pixel for like tracking your ads in Facebook, does that work in Instagram too or not?
Pixel.
Yeah, like it's just like a string of code that you can put like in your website and when the ads, so they serve it to more people and you can see its performance.
I think so. I'm fairly certain that all of the functionality of the Facebook ads work the same for Instagram because they integrated the platforms once Instagram was purchased by Facebook.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
Can you bring up any Instagram accounts that we could take a look at?
Yeah, absolutely. You can follow me, please. Check it out. I can't write it, but it's Mackie Lane, MAKILANE. And in preparation for this, preparation for this talk, I was working on something kind of cute for my Instagram, just to kind of show you guys the time and energy that people put into their Instagram strategies. My fiance has been asking me for weeks what I've been doing. So, okay, I'll take a picture of you guys just so I can kind of show you this really quickly. Okay. So you probably all can't see this, but here's my account. And so what I've been doing is posting quotes every other and photos, so it's really aesthetically pleasing as opposed to just random photos. So then you've got this line of photos and then all these cool quotes. So that's just an example of, people who are really obsessed. That's me.
So that's what we would push on.
Yeah, and so feel free to follow me because you can see some really good examples of uses of hashtags and just different branding things. And then you can also click through so you can see how the business profile works. So click on that contact button just so you can kind of see what pops up from a user's point of view. So you can kind of decide whether you want to do the email or call or text option. You can click on all that. Well, thank you guys very much. Yes, and before I finish, if anyone wants a free 30-minute consultation, you can leave your business card or your information with me today, and I'll be happy to schedule those with you all.